Well, hello chaps, it's Commodore Grayum here, and welcome back to Chad Patriot's adventures as he struggles to find his wife's son in the bleak, desolate Bostonian wasteland of Fallout 4. Nuclear Winter. Now, this is actually post-commentary that I'm recording right here, because when I came to check the video out, well, when I came to check the audio out after I'd finished recording, my mic audio was completely silent. There was a file that was the right length, but it was silent. So what I'm going to do is drink my coffee and just commentate on what I was doing here, and hopefully it will make sense and still be relatively entertaining. So yeah, we started off here with in this little corner with the skeleton in the refrigerator. It's one thing to have skeletons in your closet, another thing to have skeletons in your refrigerator too. So I seem to be just dotting about the place looking for oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm going back to this this wooden crate that I was putting rubbish in earlier because I need to have I need to have a place to put things because I'm picking up so much loot that I can't carry it all, even though I took the perk that gives me an extra 50 pounds of carry weight, I think it was. Now, I'm very paranoid, so I'm just going to click over to Audacity to check that it is, in fact, recording the audio here. Okay, it seems to be. Right. Oh, and it seems that I can see the video preview on one monitor whilst looking at the audio, the mic audio being recorded on the other monitor. So that's cool. Yes, I think at the moment I'm just trying to put down any junk that's particularly heavy or not particularly valuable, perhaps. I'm not sure. This is kind of instructive though, because I'm getting to watch the waveform of my mic audio as it's being recorded, so that I can see whether I'm recording it at about the right volume. And I think that I am, because occasionally, when there are peaks in the volume of my voice, it does kind of get towards the limit. And I certainly don't want things to start distorting, so that's about fine. Anyway. What's happening in the actual game here? Hold on, I'm going to excuse any noise whilst I shift my microphone into a position that's more comfortable for me as I watch this. Right, I think I'm still getting busy with the looting, perhaps. Yeah. Shotguns are damn heavy. You can't be carrying much in the way of shotgunnage at one time. So, yeah, I might as well take this opportunity to ask what your opinion is of the series so far. I mean, myself, I'm having a hell of a lot of fun recording it. I think especially because I've modded it to make it a lot more deadly. It makes everything considerably more amusing when I'm getting exploded and getting parts shot off me every 5 or 10 minutes. Maybe some people would like to see someone who appears to be more competent, but trust me, most of the enemies around here can like one-shot me or two-shot me, especially since we don't have much armor yet. So I could briefly talk about the mods that I have installed. The thing that I'm most proud of is that I actually made my own mod to reshade the game, to make the shadows deeper, to fix slightly broken, blown out highlights, and also to stop the color saturation getting out of hand. Especially again in the highlights. So if you're thinking at all that the game looks a little bit different tonally than it usually does, this would be why. Now, I do need to get round to uploading this mod to the Nexus so that other people can use it if they want to. I suppose I've been a little bit lazy in that regard, but I suppose I've been busy with other things. But yes, I say it's a reshade, but it doesn't use the reshade mod or framework. What I did is I went through and changed all of the lookup tables that the game uses to decide how to represent color. There were dozens of them, and I had to set up batch files to change them all in Photoshop to something that was more to my liking, and hopefully it's to yours too. Now, I think in the game at this point, finding all the chems, I think these people have lots of chems. At this point, I'm just kind of... I think I'm deciding which melee weapon I feel like having favorited, but honestly, I'm not really using melee weapons at all at this point. Maybe I should in closed conditions like this. They can be pretty deadly, but you need to be very close to the enemy, of course, for it to be even vaguely effective. What am I puzzling about now? Oh, I think I'm going to have my one and only piece of food. Perhaps. I'm very hungry, I'm very tired. I'm going to get more tired before the end of this episode, or rather Chad Patriot is. Oh yeah, and what do you think about the fact that I've made it winter? What do you think about the whole nuclear winter side of things? The fact that I've made it snowy everywhere. I think it looks fantastic, frankly. I think it makes the game look a lot prettier than it does by default. Another thing that I tried is some mods that made the game kind of greener and less desolate, because frankly, after such a long period of time had elapsed, 200 something years after the bombs dropped, you wouldn't think that it would just be kind of dry and barren everywhere. You'd think that there are all of these, blasted tree stumps without leaves all over the place. But they wouldn't have managed to stand there for 200 years just being dead, would they? Or is that... Am I wrong here? Am I way off base when it comes to... tree stumps? But anyway, you'd think that... oh, we got some action here. You'd think that more trees would have grown, grass would have grown, various things would have grown. If you go, for example, to Chernobyl, which I don't recommend necessarily that you do.
This is bullshit.
This is bullshit. You would find that there's lush greenery everywhere. And that's, around where the Chernobyl disaster happened.
Glad you've got
in far less than 200 years, might I add. So.
Too fucking quiet.
I think here we're about to encounter the stupidity of the Fallout 4 AI, in the sense that I'm going to be shooting at these people, and then, in 5 seconds, they're going to be like, oh, it was nothing. Oh, I'm just hearing things. Oh, chems must be getting to me, and all of this. Even though I've modded it to make it so that people are... Well, that the enemies are more responsive, will search for you for longer, that sort of thing. Well, there we go. Our first kill of the episode.
Whoa, shut the fuck up a second. I hear something.
I'm sticking with the slightly modified pipe pistol for now because I don't have much 10mm ammo left, and honestly, since I've added the realistic damage mod...
Fucking seeing things.
See what I mean? They're so dumb. yeah, since I've added the realistic damage mod, guns and weapons in general, and just combat in general,
Come on out. I'll make it nice.
is a hell of a lot more
You can
dangerous.
trust me.
I can't trust you, madam. Hopefully this is synced up correctly. It should be. I kind of slapped the desk when I pressed record. Or at least when I started playing the footage, so I should be able to sync things up no problem at all.
Oh, I know you're here. I'll find you.
Now, see, this is one difficulty that I have, because the only software that I have that will record this game smoothly with my rig is NVIDIA Share, which used to be known as Shadowplay. For other games, I just use OBS, but I can't get a smooth recording with a fancy game like this that way.
No need to hide. It'll all be over soon.
But the thing about NVIDIA Share is it doesn't let you record the game sounds and microphone separately, which I need to be able to do in order to get the balance right, in order to be able to process the mic audio separately from the game audio.
Shh. You hear that?
To give you the silky smooth buttery audio quality which you should be becoming accustomed to now on my channel.
Guess they were right.
Pack it in, boys. There's nothing out there.
Have you heard that? Pack it in, boys, there's nothing out there, says Jared. What a dumbass Jared is. I think I may have cleared out all of the dudes up here. Jared may be speaking from some adjacent area to this one. But anyway, yes. So the game sounds I record using NVIDIA Share, but the microphone I record using a free program called Audacity. This is a free open source job. It's perfectly suitable for the task. And then afterwards I have to sync up both sets of audio in my video editor, which can be a bit of a bugger sometimes. Oops, excuse me, got the hiccups. Because occasionally what will happen is that NVIDIA Share will cut out a little bit of audio when it's not recording video frames, something like that. And so I'll end up with an audio file that is too long and gets a bit out of sync at some point in Audacity. So I have to fiddle around. I hope you're appreciating the efforts that I go to bring you a product that actually makes sense. Oh, we got some explosives here. I think that might be the bomb that blew my head off a couple of episodes ago. Actually, we've got some nice junk here with rare usables, rare comestibles. Not comestibles. I'm not going to eat them. Like the desk fans and the typewriters, they have some pretty useful stuff going on. And then I think, well, yeah, I'm just kind of double checking, I think, to see whether there's anything worth picking up. And then we have to go and find the boss of the Corvega assembly plant raiders in order to finish our quest for the good folk of Ten Pines Bluff, I think is what the place is called. I'm never too busy to pick up a coffee pot. Although I think that any coffee that it may contain is well past its consume by date at this point. I've actually already made one video a couple of weeks ago about some of the mods that I installed in the game before I started the playthrough. And that was supposed to be a short series, so I have to get on to making another one of those. Basically what I do is I pick a category of mods each time. Last time it was it was mostly the mods that change how the game plays in terms of it being a modified survival mode. Let's play, whatever. Ooh, another camera. Always good to get some more crystals going on. Tasty cram. Now, so I'm not sure what category of mods we'll go for next time. Maybe it'll be the sort of user interface and menus and things like that, because I've changed a few things there to make it easier to find things and sort things in the Pip-Boy. And also, when I look at junk, it will tell me what things it will be possible for me to scavenge from the junk, which makes it easier, of course, to make decisions about what to pick up and what to leave behind. Found myself a water fountain there. Unfortunately, it's a little contaminated, which we'll be discovering later, I think. I go to fill some water bottles with it and get dirty water. But, I mean, that's not too bad. It just means that I get afflicted with a little bit of radiation, and, I mean, it's just a bit of I'm just a bit irradiated. It's still good. Right. At this point, I think I think I'm going to put some more stuff in this wooden crate. I guess if I put all of the junk that I find in one place, it's going to make it a lot easier to come back and get it. Although, after we finish this, clearing this building, we will have to come back and kind of run around picking everything up, because there are a lot of... I think there's a lot of aluminium to be found, for one thing. A lot of hub caps or sealant caps or something like that you find in here. And some things that I haven't been picking up, mostly just because they're really, really heavy, like fire extinguishers, which are a good thing to have, but they weigh a ton, like 6 pounds or something. I'm being a little finicky here in terms of how much stuff I'm deciding to leave behind. I figured I should keep some empty bottles on me, those beer bottles there, just so that I can fill them if I come across any water sources. But I'm just kind of going through, and there, the extinguisher, for instance, like I say, it weighs a ton. Going through and dropping off everything that weighs above a certain amount. Now, what else can I banter on about whilst we watch me play this? How far into this are we now? Yeah, okay, we're less than halfway through. Let's play a game of what will Commodore think about. Thinkception. What will he think of to talk about for the rest of the episode? Well, let's see. Mods and such. What are the other major things that I've added? I added a lot of texture mods, so I'll probably do a little video about those. I haven't added really the sort of highest resolution textures possible, because I only have a 2 GB video card, and I don't want to be getting the game hanging up and freezing and stuff whilst it tries to deal with or load in textures. That would be annoying for you and me both. But we've got quite a bit of stuff added. A lot of the indoors textures are just vanilla, really. I retextured, I think, like female faces. Many of the weapons, some of the consumables that you pick up, like meds and chems and things, little bits of things like the fusion cores. I think we've got a retextured version of that. Obviously my Pip-Boy, which I think is super cute, although I'm thinking possibly of swapping it for something else, although that might sort of break the continuity of my Let's Play. There's a new mod that's come out that Gopher had a little bit of a talk about. If you're not familiar with Gopher, go to just type Gopher or Gopher's Vids into the YouTube search bar and you'll find him. But anyway, he was talking about a mod called the Pip-Pad, which allows you to carry around what's kind of a Fallout version of like an iPad or a whatever kind of tablet. So it's kind of thick and chunky and military looking. It's got the same general display, but you just kind of carry it around in your inventory instead of having it on your arm all the time. So if you think that carrying the Pip-Boy around on your arm the whole time is a little ugly, and I wouldn't blame you if you did, if you wanted to see your outfit in its full splendor without having this big chunky like silly looking thing on your arm, that's something you could go for. So I'm not sure. I might possibly install that, but I don't know. Like, I'm quite attached to the ridiculous blue and yellow Vault-Tec Pip-Boy, looking like a toy really, as much as it does. It's kind of cute. It provides me with some amusement value, and there's always something to be said for that. Excuse me whilst I take a little slurp. Okay, I'll stop it. That's fine. Right, what's going on in the game? Oh, we have found some friends.
What the hell was that?
And turns out that was Jared. We have completed our quest. Jared was the leader of the raiders here at the Corvega plant. So if we wanted to, we could just leave right now, go back to 10 Pines Bluff, and let people know we were done. Nice. I think I run here because I see something flying up into the air and thought maybe I'd had a grenade thrown at me. But there was no grenade icon on the screen, so no, we're fine. So there are still a few enemies in here, and with all of the realistic damage mods and so forth that we've added. Oh, by the way, there are kind of two realistic damage mods. There's the one that increases weapon damage by a factor of 3 over what you have in normal difficulty. Take that. And there's the one that increases the damage of various weapons, like rebalances things in order to make the various different kinds of weapons all pretty much kind of useful to some degree or another. That was terrible. For some reason I couldn't steady my aim. Maybe it's because I'd run out of action points. But then if I'd run out of action points, then bullet time would have stopped working. So maybe it's not actually that. Uh-oh. Yeah, I think I got winged slightly there, didn't I? Did I lose a tiny bit of health from that turret? I feel fortunate to not have been entirely scuppered by it, actually. Great. Turns out I could one-shot it with a couple of cranks on the old laser musket. I mean, when I get that upgraded, you can kind of crank it up some more and do even more damage per shot. But it's a very heavy weapon. I don't know if it's something that I want to be carrying around in the long term. Plus, I'm sort of running out of fusion cells. Partly because of last episode when we were firing at people who were a very long way away. And not really managing to hit them very much. Not quite sure how I managed to avoid getting hit right there. Maybe the machine gun turrets aren't particularly accurate, or maybe I just got very, very lucky. I kind of feel like maybe I should have died right there. There's a Protectron robot in its pod. We just saw. Ow. So I guess the machine gun turrets, they don't do too much damage per shot. I suppose if they did, you'd just be absolutely toast in like half a second flat. But we're still doing okay so far. I realised in the last couple of episodes I got slaughtered rather a handily large amount. But this episode, thus far, I've not been too incompetent, or rather, well, I don't know. Things have been a little easier. I remember in the last couple of episodes I got myself into some very thorny situations, whereas in this episode the sort of situations have been a little more controlled. I haven't really had enemies swarming me. I've been more sort of sneaking up on them and taking them one at a time, which definitely does help. Considerable amount. Okay, so what do we have here? A whole bunch of crap. Oh, we found ourselves a magazine. An issue of the old Grognak, although I'm not sure particularly how useful that is, given that we're not really using melee a hell of a lot at the moment.
What is it? Oh, shit.
I can hear dudes in the background there. Very faintly, although I always turn up the game sounds. Like I'll edit them after the fact. So like I'll turn the game sounds up by like 9 decibels and then put a 6 decibel limiter on it so that they don't get too loud. But otherwise, when you have NPCs and enemies talking, it's way too quiet. And you know, my mic audio, I just compress and limit the shit out of that. Noise reduction, the works, to give you the lovely mellifluous product that you'll find when you watch my very high quality videos. Right, this I suppose I'm putting some rubbish away here, or at least stuff that I'm going to come back for later. Right. How we doing? Christ almighty, I still have, I don't know, like nearly 20 minutes of nattering on to do. Hopefully you're finding this relatively entertaining. Possibly at this point we're going to pay a bit more attention to the gameplay rather than me just sort of chattering on. We have a safe key there, but I don't know where the safe is. Is it that green trunk that I was in earlier? Did I already have a safe key? I would have thought that only Jared would have it, being the boss and everything. Taking out a security light there when I probably really didn't need to bother.
Get a grip on yourself.
Oh yeah, we can hear people for sure. picked up some sort of special modified Raider armor there. Can't remember whether it was any good. I think that's what I'm probably going to have a look at now. No, I'm just going to put on my sunglasses and check out how cool I look. Yes, I remember this. So, I mean, you know, I would look super, super suave if it wasn't for the Pip-Boy, so... But I don't care too much about that. I'd rather it be just funny. I think that's for the best, just for things to be funny. Turns out... Oh, yeah, turns out that this modified armor that I picked up off this dude... it actually was slightly better than what I had on. Any extra little bit of armor is great. It might take me from a situation where enemies can just one-shot me just like that to maybe being able to take 2 bullets instead. What am I doing here? Looking through my irradiated food for some reason. I'm thinking. I think I'm just deciding whether there's any more rubbish I can drop off. And I think there is actually some ammo. Because I'm carrying rather a lot of it. Dropping this much probably won't save me a whole lot of weight. Save me £2, Jesus. I definitely have to remember to go back for that though. Because any ammo that any ammo that I don't have is ammo that I'll have to craft. And actually that's something that I've added as well. I don't think is in the vanilla game. I've added a mod that gives you an ammo workbench. Pretty sure that's a modded thing anyway.
Come out and fight.
You see, I added most of the mods that I added to the game a while before I started doing the playthrough. So I can't really quite 100% remember what everything does. Oh, we got trouble here. But not for long. Nice. Yeah, what was I saying about mods right then? Oh yes, the ammo workbench. So... any lead that I pick up, like in pencils and so forth, that's extremely useful. So in V.A.T.S, I've ended up targeting the Protectron there, which is not a particularly useful thing to do. I certainly don't want to get into a fight with him and or her. I don't know what sort of gender a Protectron... Why am I having such trouble saying that word? Protectron. It's a weird-ass word, that's why. It is at least a slight tongue twister. So, as you can see, my character's getting extremely fatigued by this point. Yeah, I'm not sure why I bothered taking that out. I guess I didn't know that whether or not there were more enemies around that I might need to evade being detected by. I think at this point I decide I'm probably safe. Yep. I start sprinting and stuff. Throw caution to the wind. And I think at this point I was thinking, where is this safe? I've got a safe key. Surely safe keys are for safes. Where is it? But maybe it was just that steamer trunk? I don't know. I'll scour the place later on and we'll see. Now at this point it's story time, I think. So I guess I'm going to have to read this. Hopefully more or less in the same amount of time as I did before. Gunfire's finally quieted down. Suppose that means either Lonnie and Gristle wiped up the last of the ghouls, or they're currently serving as someone's meal. But now Lexington is secure, I can finally get to work. Come on, Commodore. Anytime you're ready. Stumped. Nothing's working. The old woman, she used to just huff some jet, pop some pills. Then she stopped babbling, spouting vision after vision, and they all turned out true. The raiders burning the town, killing the parents, stealing the kids. Oh, excuse me, stealing me. I remember the look in her eyes when she saw my fate. Kid, you're going to be a monster. All true. If I could get that sort of power, that sight, the Commonwealth, the other gangs, no one would have a prayer. But nothing's working. Maybe I need to try upping the dosages. I'm going to need another bucket. So, yes. Rather unwise to think that you could just randomly take some drugs and become a prophet, but oh well. As he realizes here, it's not the chems. They're just a trigger for the site. It's me. I'm the problem. Wish I'd realized it before my arms looked like pin cushions. But at least I blah 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 blah. Whoops. Guess I better hurry up. Still no successes, but the rumour of free chems has brought plenty of new recruits. Ranks are nearly back up to where they were before we cleaned out Lexington. Lonnie thinks it's a waste of time, says we need to spend our time building up our defences. But Lonnie doesn't make the decisions. I do. She does seem to be enjoying her new position though. Maybe another dose of Psycho will get her visions firing. She's here! Come on. Anytime. Gristle says there's a caravan headed this way. Some joker in a cowboy hat with a laser musket. 3 civilians and 1 frail old woman dressed like a fortune teller. It's her. I know it's her. I sent Gristle to collect her. I wonder if she'll recognize me. Of course she will. She saw this coming. After all. And that's that. And then I think I go into the spotlight control, which I can't do anything with. Because, oh. Getting confused with the escape key there. Clearly I can't do anything with the spotlights. Because I've shot all the spotlights. Well done, Commodore. Right. How we doing? I think I'm going, again, I'm going, where's the safe though? But where? But where is the safe? Where? But why? But where? Okay. Are you done here, Commodore? Do you think you've had enough? Messing around here? Wait, there's some Nuka-Cola in there that I didn't pick up. I guess we'll come back for all the things. I may not do that on camera though, so to speak. Simply because, I mean, I'd just be wandering around a ruined building picking up junk for like an entire episode, which maybe you don't want to see. I guess I could make a junk picking up montage, but that would be extremely time consuming. And that's not really like, okay, so how I make videos is I just show you everything, usually. That's just kind of my style. I rely on the fact that I'm okay at commentary, so even if not everything that I'm doing is vastly exciting all the time, I just sort of chunter on in the background, and if people like that, they like it, and some people seem to like it, so that's okay. I guess that's who I make videos for. But occasionally I'll probably make something that takes a bit more time. Something with a bunch of editing. But seriously, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the video editing process. And maybe it's just partly because I'm a bit of a noob at it and I don't know all the tricks of the trade. But it takes so long to make a video that's got a bunch of editing in it. Like, even if you just want there to be a section in the video that's maybe a montage that's about a minute or so long of, you know, chopped up footage of you doing bits and bobs of various things, it takes ages. I remember the first time I did something like that on my old channel that no longer exists. I was playing Far Cry 4 and I thought, oh, let's make a special video. And so I started constructing a montage from the footage that I had so far, you know, from the first episode or so. And I think I took about an hour or so of footage and cut it down to like 8 or 9 minutes, where I just left in the stuff that was kind of funny or that made things work in terms of continuity. And there were so many edits that I had to do, chopping out this little bit and that little bit, that making the montage took me something like 7 hours of just pretty much non-stop working. Not like, oh, I'll do a little bit and then I'll sort of slack off and then I'll watch a bit of a video for a while or do something else. I was actually working at it the whole time. And it was kind of worth it because what I came out with in the end, it was pretty good. I don't have that video anymore or the channel, unfortunately. But I think it's worth doing something like that every so often. Because it's just fun. But if I was trying to do that sort of thing in every video, like it would kind of take me all day to make each video, pretty much. It would turn from something that took me like an hour or an hour and a half per day, sometimes a little bit more, to the sort of hours you'd expect from a full-time job, which is just silly. Maybe if I was making some sort of, like if I, later on, I was making all my income from YouTube, then maybe it would be worth doing. But even then, I would probably stick to the same style that I've had up until now, because there are just other things that I like to do with my time as well. Like, it's really fun to play these games, make these videos, but if it was taking, you know, if it was like 45 minutes of playing a game and then several hours of video editing every day, that would be not so fun. And like I said, there are other things that I like to do. Like at the moment, I'm trying to get really, really good at guitar. Like I used to teach guitar, and I'd like to start doing that again. But I want to get myself up to a better standard than I was before, because I don't know. I'd feel more legit that way. But that, you know, whether it's that or whether it's other things, I just like to do other things with my time as well. So, what's going on here? Still got fatigue, got weakness. I don't know how I fix either of those things. Maybe I'll have to look it up. At least we're not quote-unquote weary anymore. Thanks, June. I hope I find my wife's son too.
That chair. You're so kind, helping me like this.
Yeah, I still have to make her a chair. There's a bunch of stuff that I need to do at Sanctuary, actually. Making her a chair, and then Sturges will have a bunch of jobs for me, just sort of setting up basic amenities in the settlement. And that's something maybe we'll get to next episode, actually, just to take a break from getting shot at all the time.
Community. I've seen it.
Yeah, so hold on. I need to start paying attention to where I am in the footage here so that I can end my post commentary at the right time. Okay, we're what is it? We're maybe a couple of minutes from the end. But yeah, and you know, we'll be getting to base building as well, because obviously that's a thing in Fallout 4 that wasn't in any of the previous Fallout games. Haven't decided yet whether I'm going to make a separate series of just doing base building. I've seen other people do that. because some people want to watch that and some people don't. And, you know, if I'm making a playthrough, I might as well really go for it, you know, with the building. I mean, why not? Might as well try and build some sort of spectacular or at least mildly impressive things in settlements. So yeah, maybe that will be a separate but connected series. And I think at this point I'm trying to find somewhere to wind up the video. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. My first mute fruit has grown, which is allowing me to place another plant. For modifying weapons and armor, you need lots of adhesive. So for that, you need corn, mute fruit, and tato or tarto plants.
You telling me you killed a deathclaw?
And that also deals with your with your food situation for your settlement. You can grow other kinds of food as well that allow you to cook different kinds of food, like soups and things, I think. I've never really particularly bothered too much with that in the past. Okay, so, right, that's the end of the video. Hope the post-commentary was okay. Let me know. But yeah, that's we're pretty much getting towards the end here. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click the like button. It helps out rather a lot. Leave your comments and suggestions in the little box for such things below. Share this video by all means with...
Freedom's always worth fighting
fucking
for.
hell. Preston, shut up. Share this video by all means with anyone you think might be interested or entertained. And subscribe if, and only if, you'd like to see more. Ta-ta for now, chaps.